Welcome to the Flourish frequency, the show where we activate and amplify the frequencies of success, joy, and abundance. I'm your host, Beth Larsen, a high-performance and quantum success coach. If you're ready to ditch the hard hustle and embrace a more effortless flow, then this is the show for you. Together, we'll tap into quantum thinking, harness the laws of the universe, and unlock the secrets to living a life of more. More joy, more energy, more passion, more money, and more meaning. No more simply surviving, we're going beyond thriving. It's time to flourish. The Flourish Frequency Show starts now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Flourish Frequency. And yes, I am your host, Beth Larsen, and today is a very special episode because I am joined by someone who has not only shaped the way that I plan my life, but also the way I live my life. My dear friend and co-creator of the Inspirement Life Planner, which I've got right here, the beautiful and brilliant Leah Lund is here with me today. So when Leah and I came together to create this planner, it wasn't because the world needed another productivity tool. It was because we needed, or actually, should I say, we desired a different way of living, a way of planning that didn't grind down our nervous systems or force us into heavy masculine overdrive, which we've both been in the past, and a way of planning that didn't grind that really truly honored our inspiration, restoration, and intuition, while still giving us the structure and the support to actually create the life that we imagined. So today we're going to be talking about the Inspirement Way, how to find your flow, how to create your life with intention, and how to use tools that meet you at where you're at energetically, not where you think you're supposed to be. We're going to share our origin stories here, how we each use the planner in different ways, and which sections we personally couldn't live without. I have one today in particular that I could speak to, and how this planner blends both feminine vision with masculine support in a way that truly changes everything. So whether you're a planner girl, a free spirit, or somewhere in between, this episode is going to help you connect with the rhythm that's uniquely yours. So let's dive in. Welcome, Leah. Yay.
Oh my gosh, Beth, I'm so happy to be here, and you have me almost in tears already. This is kind of like life flashing before our eyes, right? As everyone will learn here, I'm sure, when we talk about our origin story. But what a beautiful introduction! What an honor to be here, and I'm just so grateful for you in this life journey. And you have the mug.
Yeah, I have the mug.
Have the
Not just a mug,
t-shirt.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Beth.
yeah. Well, I am so thrilled. And, we have to take a moment here to talk about today a little bit. It has
Yeah.
been quite a funny morning. I reached out to Leah first thing this morning, and actually the producer of the show here this morning too, at about 8:30, I think it was, because all of a sudden my power had gone out. I had no power this morning. And the first thought, well, and mind you, I actually just stepped out of the shower. So completely soaking wet, no electricity, nothing. And my first thought is, oh my gosh, I've got my show this afternoon and I have a breathwork journey tonight and I need power. And, I think that many times in the past, I would have been panicking, and I wasn't panicking this morning. I just was like, okay, I need to reach out to some people. I need to look at the possibility of, the text messages that I was receiving were saying maybe no power until 2:00 this afternoon. I'm like, that's exactly the time I'm supposed to be live. And so I knew that that was a possibility. And so I was reaching out to Leah and reaching out to the producers and just informing them of the situation. But I had this opportunity to really be present also, and to not be in that space of reaction. And I think a lot of what we have done, personally in our own growth and development and the planner, and I'm religious about using my planner as a tool to support me, is really something that enabled me to be in that space today of not reacting, but being able to stay really focused on my desired intention, and also stay totally in the trust that whatever happens here today is going to be in the greatest and best, for both of us and for the show itself. the producers said, well, maybe we could just do audio today. And I thought, oh, that would be a shame because I want to show the planner. It's the one show of any that I would love to have live where people can, see it. And I want to say one more thing. And I know I'm not giving Leah space to talk just yet here, but this show is not about just us pitching a planner. It's so much deeper than that. I wanted her to really be on here to talk about why this planner is so special to us. But these are what you take from the show today, this inspiration, whether you have our planner or you use your own planner, it's the same thought processes. It's the same way of living. It's about not managing time and to-dos, but learning how to leverage your energy and foster the greatest energy so that you can stay in that really powerful co-creative space. So I think we will both tell you, get the planner, but this is not just about us pushing a planner here today. So with all of that, I want to open this up and actually,
I want to, before we get
yeah,
into, serious business here,
yeah,
not serious business. I just want to comment about this morning too, because so I am out on the West Coast right now, because that's where I usually am in the winter. So, Beth's 8:30 was my 5:30, and
that's
I was
right.
in my morning ritual, which is so sacred to me, which I'm sure I'll talk more about as we go along here. And I had a knowing to pick up my phone. Had
Yeah,
it been any other day, it could have been a couple hours or more before I picked up my phone, because
yeah,
I honor my morning ritual. And I just picked it up very intuitively, and I saw, and we went through our exchange, and I was very much in the same place that you were, Beth, of the right thing will happen, the quote unquote right, the aligned thing will happen, the thing will happen the way it will best serve, and however that is okay with me. And it really was like, wow, what a reflection point for the two of us
totally.
from where we would have been, in the past and in different
Yeah,
careers, and even in our in entrepreneurship, because we were both so easy flowing with it. And it
totally.
was just a beautiful testament to, it was like, it might happen today, it might be next time, it might be audio only, we
Yeah,
might have visual, and it'll be brilliant and, perfect
perfect.
and radiant.
Exactly.
So
And here we
thank you.
are
And here we are. And then, yeah, what, like,
40
not
minutes,
even
like 45 minutes ago.
45 minutes
Yeah.
ago, the
Yep.
light came on.
Yep. The light came back. And it's so funny. Like I'm sitting here thinking too, you were talking about like our past. And so Leah and I know each other. We've known each other for like 30 years now. Is it? We worked
If
together
we
in
must do
retail.
the math, yes, I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
know.
I was like 24 years old, probably.
I
Uh-oh,
think it was
now
24.
I really.
Yeah. And we both worked in retail. We were both district managers at the time. And I just think right now, like we're headed into Thanksgiving week. And can you think back to 30 years ago what Thanksgiving week used to look and feel like for us?
Absolutely.
It wasn't about holiday cheer so much as stressing and panicking and getting stores ready for the madness of Black Friday was what it was called back then. And that's
Mhm.
changed completely over the years, right? Everything's
Yeah.
gone into cyber and all of that. But I think so much of it back then, we were both in that hard hustle place.
It was absolutely hard hustle. It was, we were in our masculine exclusively,
Yep.
solely, it felt like. And I'll have to say, we were both very good at it, at
Yeah.
that.
We were.
We were darn good at that. But yeah, to say it was a hustle is, doesn't even fully describe it. It was just it was such an intensity. And in our particular type of product, that Black Friday could be the revenue of a month at another
Yeah.
time of year. So it was very intense. And we gave it everything, including sacrifices, that
Big
I'm sure
time.
we'll talk about. And yeah, it's a incredible contrast to how I know we're both living
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So I think
And it happened for a reason because I met you.
totally. Totally.
So
Again, everything you can what is it? Steve Jobs who always said you can connect the dots looking backwards. You can't connect them looking forward. It's like when I look backwards, I can connect everything to where we are, both of us now. And I know we have our own connect like our own way of looking at how things happen for us in our individual lives, but also in how we came back together. I mean, we had known each other and we were pretty close for like 10 years. And then we ended up going to different companies and being in different parts of the country and all of that, and then just lost touch. And I think
and there
maybe
was
we
no social media really. I
right.
was thinking about that in preparation for this conversation. I was like, how did we lose touch? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
because you would have actually had to like give your new phone number and write a letter or something. I don't know. Yeah. How would
And
we have kept in touch?
and I was actually one of those people that was totally against getting a cell phone for the longest time. So I wouldn't have even had a cell phone for a while. Like I don't think I got my first cell phone till like maybe 2004. And only because my
Oh.
company made me. But anyways, like that's a sidetrack for another day for
Yes.
sure. But, we lost contact, and then I think maybe it was social though, because it was maybe
I
LinkedIn.
think it was LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think I came
yeah.
across LinkedIn or Leah came across me. I can't remember which it is, but we reconnected and that was what, 2016, 17?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
Estimating. Yeah.
Okay. So we
Yeah.
came back and then we kind of stayed in touch a little bit. We did some things. And then at one point we had this idea. I think we were together at a business retreat or something that we had
Yeah.
decided to go to together.
Yeah.
And we were just toying around and we had this idea. And I cannot for the life of me remember how it came out. Do you? For the plant for
Well,
the
I want to say also after not being in touch with each other, when we did find each other again, it was so interesting that we both had coaching businesses. We both
yeah,
had coaching companies. Um, we're, both in the entrepreneurial space versus the corporate space for many of the same reasons,
yeah.
having a lot of the same emphasis in our work. So that was one of those just kind of big smile moments of like, of course we're both in this space now. And then we did
Yeah.
go to some kind of business retreat or conference. And what sticks out in my mind, I can see us sitting like in a hotel area, but outside. And we were talking about the word retirement. Not that we were anywhere near retirement really, but we were just talking about kind of what comes after. And for us coming out of corporate,
Mhm.
that was a career we probably both thought at one time or another we'd be in forever.
Yes.
And then we realized there's more,
Yeah.
more
Until you
joy,
retire.
more everything else. But yeah, that was the pattern was, oh, you'll get to have that joy when you retire.
Yeah.
And we were very set on, no, that's not how it works. It's an and both. You can do this, and somewhere out of, I think, retirement, it the word it morphed into inspirement.
Inspirement. Yeah. I think the inspirement piece came up somewhere around the word inspire and when we were like feeling into it and the root of the word inspire is inspirare, right? The Latin, which means to breathe life into. I'm like, that's it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it. And breathing for me it's breathing life into the dreams that breathe life into you. It's like this beautiful circulation of breath, right? And
It
that
is.
just like landed. I think both of us exhaled
I think
with
we
that.
did.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that was it. And that's what we
That
started
was
with.
it.
And we've done a couple of like workshops and things like that, but what really felt like it landed the most for both of us was the planner itself. And the co-creation of it was just gosh, it was one of those things where it just kind of flowed into it. And as it took a life on of its own. And we have
Mhm.
changed it very minimally over the
Yep.
years.
Mhm.
So I think we've had it now for is it 5 years? Is this our 5th planner or 6th
I
planner?
think we're at 7.
Oh gosh, are we?
Yes,
Whoops.
because we did a 6th anniversary.
Oh, that's right.
maybe
Okay.
last year, which was so popular, which I love.
That's right.
And we continued it. Yeah.
So I guess I have to say that
So
time
maybe it was a
flies when
little
you're having
earlier.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It does.
It does,
Yeah.
because I completely lost track of that time.
It's kind of hard to believe. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's just been a tremendous ride, and I agree. We've made very few changes. I think the
Yeah.
core um, intentions that we had just have stood the test of time, and
Yeah.
then we've done some little tweaks. But
I
core
agree.
intention, energy management over time management,
Exactly.
and all the things you said in the beautiful intro.
Yeah. So I'm curious, when we were first beginning to co-create this, what part of the vision felt most important for you out of it?
To me, the rhythm, I want to say balance, and balance is a word that everybody has their own interpretation of. Um, and I like rhythm better,
Yeah.
as I believe you agree, because it's not to say it's always exactly equal. It's to give that flow and that flex to it, but it's to make sure that your energy, you're restoring your own energy as
Yeah.
much as you are putting out your energy, and that it truly is a circulatory piece. It's not all output, 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 crash.
Yes.
That was the old way for us,
Yes.
and this is about that flow of restoring your own energy, supporting your own energy, so that you really have more to give.
Yeah. I agree completely. And for me, I think really important of the masculine and the feminine. It's not about abandoning the masculine. It's understanding that there's a role for that energy, and that's actually what the planner does. Is it provides the masculine energy in a supportive way, right? It gives structure and support that allows the dream, which is that beautiful feminine energy and the creativity and the inspiration and the ideas and all that dreaminess. It gives it some support and structure that allows it to come into fruition. So it's not, all over the place with the
Yes.
feminine, and that there's that flow between the two. And again, it's not a hard balance, but it's about flowing back and forth between masculine and feminine, and the right. I shouldn't say the right, because it's not. It's not about right or
Right.
wrong. It's just about in a way that's really serves and supports.
Serves. The balance piece, knowing which energy serves which part of the creative process,
Yeah.
is everything.
Yeah.
And that's what does make this so special and feel so spacious and different. And it's no accident that it's a masculine tool
Yeah.
in type of tool, because that served us very well at a point in our life.
Exactly.
We were just ready to integrate that feminine also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I always think of it like the masculine is there to serve the feminine. Right? So, that's just my philosophy on that, but it's like when I think of it that way, it's like, yeah, that feels really good. It's not, the masculine's not overriding it,
No.
and it's not, abandoning it. It's there to serve. And that's what creation is really built on, right? Is this beautiful blend of masculine and feminine. So,
And then even when it's time to do the action, which you could call masculine, the
yeah,
feminine supports that. The feminine is the
exactly.
encouragement and the ease we had this morning,
Yeah,
where it was like, no, we have to get the power on. It was the
exactly.
ease we were able to breathe into it. So it's a beautiful dance between those two energies.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Love it. Well, I'm loving where this conversation is headed already, and there's more here. So we're going to take a quick break here. And up next, Leah and I are going to share how we each use our planners completely differently, or I mean, not completely differently, but I think we have our own take on it, both personally and maybe even in our businesses, and how we use it maybe in our own daily practices, and why that matters more than you think. So if you're interested in getting the planner, we're going to have the link to it in the show notes. You'll be able to find it there, and we'll be back, and we'll talk, dive into that topic when we get back. All right, we are back, and I have my beautiful friend here, Leah Lund. We are talking about the Inspirement Way and really how and why we created the planner that we created, and really just the philosophy behind it. And right now, one of the things that I love most is that there's no one right way to use this planner. Um, I know I use it in personally and in my business a little bit differently than Leah does, and I don't even know how all she's using it. So I'd love to talk about that and really share with the listeners so that they also can reflect and understand that they can customize it to their own needs, to their own preferences. So, how are you using it these days?
Absolutely. I want to say the intro pieces of the planner do have recommendations
Yeah,
and instructions, if you want to call it that. And I highly recommend that. Don't skip over that. If you
yeah,
get this planner, and we hope you do, it's all there for a purpose to support everything we've talked about so far. So if any little resistance comes up, or don't jump right into deviating, because there's incredible value in the way, the processes that we've designed and created. And then when you get in the flow of that, of course, there's flexibility and there's nuances. For me, at this stage in life, um, in service, in what I'm doing. I completed a company last year, so I'm in a transition, a lovely transition. I say completed because I didn't close it and I didn't retire
yeah,
because we covered that. It wasn't a retirement, but it felt complete. And it felt
yeah.
like there were other things in my life that I was ready to open up to, even if I didn't know what all of them were. And so for me, a couple of things that are so key now at this stage. First of all, my spiritual practices. So literally the breath work, the love's breath, the meditation, the radical inquiry. I do a lot of processes that were practiced by the Essenes and that
Mhm.
Joshua or Jesus taught. And those are my appointments. Those are the majority of my appointments these days. Today I had a
Love
beautiful
that.
appointment with Beth. So
So
that
you
was
mean the
great.
appointments that are actually in the appointments section of your weekly planner?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I put them in my appointments because I don't have the kinds of appointments I had before.
yeah,
Um, and that is actually powerful too, if to try. So we're going to get into how later how the planner is set up, but there's an appointment section, and then there's more of a what would have been a traditional task section, but it's completely
right,
different than tasks.
right.
But to actually sometimes write your time with yourself, with creator as an appointment is really powerful. So yeah, I put that up in the timed areas now. Um, it is I will schedule an appointment for a wonder question.
Mm,
And I will designate, 1 to 2 o'clock. This is my time. I'm sitting down with a question, and I'm sitting there long enough to actually hear the answer come from somewhere higher than
yeah,
than just my mind. And the planner in that way is a total companion, equal partner with my journal. And I feel like the planner is a journal at this point because it's a snapshot. So that's one thing. The other thing, how it supports my spiritual practice, especially, is we have added in the instructions not only an end of day review, a reflection of the day, and it's not only the checking off of did I follow through on the things that were on my original plan, but in a separate color pen, we fill in and complete and check off anything additional that that we did that was an energy output, or any additional way we restored ourself, fed our soul, fed our energy. And what I find is that allows me to really look at what I call time trades.
mm,
If I've traded my time, I thought I was going to spend it and invest it in this one thing, and I did and invested in this instead. Why did I make that decision? And that leads into real spiritual contemplation of, am I acting as an extension of God,
Mm,
creator, universe, whatever term you use? Or did I get in my mind and my mind thought it had a better plan?
mm,
And sometimes I do a time trade that is 100% God driven. Like I don't even know where that idea came from, but knowing is something you feel immediately. So if I have a plan, but then I have a knowing, no, it's not a difficult decision to make.
yeah.
There's no deliberation about that. I'm moving in the direction of the knowing. So the time trades aren't good or bad. They're not positive or negative, but they open up this whole exploration of why we do what we do, why we think what we think, even though I'm not writing actual thoughts down, but there was a thought behind the
Yeah.
action. So what was the thought? And even why do I feel what I feel? And these are key questions in the way of mastery pathway, as far as discerning what is ego mind versus what is Christ mind.
Right.
So this is a living, breathing record, if you want to call it, of
Yeah.
what the ego mind is doing,
Yeah.
or when the ego mind is leading versus when are we in divine consciousness, in the
Mm,
highest consciousness.
love that. Yeah, I love that so much. Mm. I can tell already just listening, like, I'm going to take some tips too from how you're using it. Because again, like we don't necessarily talk about how we're using it now.
Yeah.
Um, because we don't talk as frequently right now, but it's like so interesting to hear again that like we co-created this thing and yet it also has a life of its own for each of us that serves us in the way that it's meant to. And again, going back to the bigger vision of letting it breathe life into us so we can breathe life into the dreams, into our visions, into our desires, and into our purpose, right? That we're here for
Yeah.
each individually.
Well, and you'll notice I completed a business as it was, a coaching practice, and the planner came with.
Yeah.
Like the planner wasn't left in that completion. The plan, so
Yeah.
you're exactly right. It has taken on a life of its own, and it is every bit as valuable to me for things I'm getting into now,
Yeah.
what I'm up to now, and always will be. I can't imagine it not being
Yeah.
this core tool.
I agree. Totally. Totally. And I love the appointment section as well. And when I'm doing it, my appointment section is such a practice of presence also of like, I have a Google calendar with all my appointments on it. So many people could say, "Oh, what aren't you using your Google Calendar?" Well, that's just a that's a technology tool. The reason we have this in here is an act of intention. It's an act of presence. It's an act of actually, as I'm writing down each person's name that I have an appointment with that week, I'm recognizing that there's a value trade there. That person is getting my time, which is one of my most
Mm.
valuable resources, and it's giving me the opportunity to look and say, like, if I'm looking at my week and I'm not enjoying how I'm spending my time, then where am I saying yes to things I really want to say no to? And how can I actually step into my yeses and step into my no's where necessary and do it in a loving way, in a way that's actually about me loving myself, but also respecting the other person. And then it's also that opportunity. And I have to say, like, honestly, these days, there's no one that really shows up on my appointment list that I don't absolutely love because I've made that a practice.
Mhm.
So these days it's like, oh, my whole week is just filled with people that I love and conversations that I love and doing things that I love. So it's that took a process to get there initially, but
Mhm.
that's what it's been able to support me with is being able to get to that place where I've now I feel like I'm really in alignment for myself. And then when I'm putting somebody's name down and I know I have an appointment with them this week, which for me, most of them would be clients,
Mhm.
it's also taking that moment to send that person some energy and reminding myself what their intentions are and really holding that space and honoring it for them. And whether they know it or not, I know that they're feeling it. So when we actually show up live together, it's like the container is already there. I'm not showing up like, wait, who are you? And I'm not rushed and trying to figure out like, okay, wait, what's this person focused on? It's like, I already know that. And that to me is really important. So that's one way that I use it.
What comes up? I love what you just shared, and I hadn't really thought about it in exactly that way,
Mhm.
about the presence, but I'm thinking in this, what's coming up is in this digital world, which we're so grateful for, or we wouldn't be here doing this right now and able to have this conversation. But there is something different, slightly different about it than being with somebody face to face in person. And
Yeah.
we don't as often have those in-person gatherings anymore. And with what you're describing is your process as you're putting the appointments and listing the times and looking at the people and sending them energy. It feels like it created that real touch again.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I will be bringing that into my awareness with appointments now too. And even one thing, another thing that is so valuable about the appointments is to separate them from, I struggle for a better word than task, but from an activity, from an action. An appointment is a gathering. It is a relationship,
Yeah.
and emphasizing it in this way. Not everything makes the cut. Some things are just, they go in the energy out area or the energy in area. But I have, from what you shared, Beth, an even greater appreciation now of the appointment area. It's like sacred gathering.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You may see an edit next year,
That's
everyone.
true. I know we're getting
I won't
inspired right
say
now.
appointments anymore. No.
And ideas are coming through already. I could tell.
Yes.
One of the ways that I have actually incorporated it in my business is in my membership. So every month in my Flourish Alchemy membership, I do a forecast, focus, and flow session, which is the very beginning. It's usually like the first Sunday of a month. And so we gather together and everybody has the planner. Again, pitching the planner here, but um, everyone does have the planner and we bring it together and we do a live working session. And one of the things that I've loved about that, well, first off, let me just say that in the planner, one of the things I love is the monthly reflection page. So we created a page that allows you to reflect back on the previous month. Let's put it here, right here. It's got specific questions and we go through that. And it's right across from actually my favorite thing. I got to show. Yes, this is like one of my absolute favorite practices in the planner is the Post-it note page. I'll give an example here. Sorry, I'm looking for the previous month. Yeah. Why am I not? There we go. So my Post-its are a little out of place here, but what you can see is there's a page that has places for you to put Post-it notes. Now, here's the way we intended this practice, and it's right across from the reflection page. The way when we put this together, the idea is when you do your weekly planner, which here's an example of a week filled out, is that you would slap on a blank Post-it note at the beginning of the week when you're setting your planner up. And then as you go throughout the week, you do what's called plus delta. So pluses are things that you want to celebrate. Deltas would be something that maybe it didn't go the way you wanted it to. And we use the Greek symbol delta for change. So it's something that you can do differently. It's not about right and wrong. It's not about good and bad. It's plus and delta. And again, this is, sorry, I should say this is my practice for it. Leah may actually use the Post-it notes a little bit differently, but it's not, it's not a journal. So you're not writing out an entire thing on that Post-it note. It's just a brief bullet point. And then at the end of the month, what you do is you take those Post-it notes from each week and you put it on that one page. So you've got a page filled with Post-it notes when you go to do your monthly reflection. Now, what I have found in this practice is that personally, and with the people that in my membership that use it, is that the beauty of this practice is that there are so many things that you would have forgotten about from the beginning of the month, especially the wins, usually, because it's usually the things that didn't go the way you want it to that stick out for you in your mind. It's that negative bias, right? But this gives you the opportunity to really bring those things to the forefront. And then as you go throughout the year, you have all of these months of post-it notes. And at the end of the year, or at the end of each quarter, at the end of 6 months, I usually do a practice of going back through them and really looking at all of the pluses and all of the deltas and rereading each month's monthly reflection. And you have this beautiful scenario or story of the year. And it becomes way more weighted in the positive. And even the deltas are positive by that point because you're really getting fertilizer, right? You're getting the stuff that, maybe it wasn't so pretty looking at the time, but you're able to get the fertilizer out of it that allows you to grow something bigger and better. So that's how I've been using it. And I love that monthly reflection page for that. I'm curious, are you doing anything different with yours?
Um, I wholeheartedly agree and follow what you have shared here. I also find the post-its can often help me if there is follow-up and there's something that started a previous month and now let's say I'm having a meeting with you again on a project or something like that. It's a review as
Yeah,
well for that purpose so that I can pick up right where we left off
perfect.
with what I won't remember
Yeah,
to pick up with right where we left off. And the process you described brings to mind, very worth mentioning also, is the gratitude burst.
yes,
So the post-its, every month there's a gratitude burst at the end, but it's not meant to only be used at the end.
right.
It's throughout the month, and it's a pie chart, and you can set it up however you want to. I've had times where I'll put the areas that are on the monthly blue roadmap
Yeah,
and put those in there. Other times I just choose friends, family,
yeah,
career, different thing, or I might not label.
yeah,
So I use it differently every month, but it's just a place to write down the things that you're grateful for. And as a year-end practice, as a month-end practice, it's fabulous. And you can go back to the weekly posted areas for that as well.
yeah,
And you can't have too much space to write gratitude is how I feel. So I'll duplicate things that were on post-its and oh yeah, I didn't put that in the gratitude burst. I want that to be in the gratitude burst. And at the end of the year is an incredible process to look back at every month's gratitude burst, because
yeah,
you're so right, Beth. Like the gifts and the incredible experiences and the reasons to celebrate, they far outweigh what our mind will tend to focus on.
yeah,
And it is amazing how even in a month's time I'll forget, because I'll include every
totally.
aspect of something that warmed my heart. It might not even have been my own action. It's really not our own action, right? It's something
True.
delivered from God. And so, like this morning, I can tell you, I wrote about pelicans in my gratitude burst, because after I looked at the phone, after I sort of interrupted my morning ritual because I felt this nudge to do so, saw the communication from Beth, I was sitting down and I was like, okay, I'm going to continue and, refocus. And I look up and there was this lone pelican
Mm,
just doing spirals out over the golf course. We're next to a golf course, but they're usually not in our area of the golf course. They're usually over where there's a waterfall and ponds and that kind of thing. And I just sat there and marveled at it. I marveled at this beautiful white bean. They're so huge, so that you see
yeah.
them such a distance. And he's doing this whole spiral thing over and over and over, and it just looks like ice skating in the sky.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and that went into my gratitude burst.
Yeah,
So it helps you see the big picture of
yeah,
this incredible experience of life.
yeah. It's also one of the ways I use it is if I have had a day where it's like you get thrown off, it's the first thing I will do is go to my gratitude burst because it forces you to, it doesn't force you, but it it directs your attention to what is good. And not in a way of like, oh, I'm putting a happy face sticker on a empty gas tank kind of day
Right.
of,
Right.
pretending it's all good. It's no, let me actually really look at what is good. Today coming out of it, that whole scenario this morning, it's like, well, I'm grateful that for electricity. Yes, that's the obvious. I'm also grateful that, I had the strength to lift my garage door manually. Right? It's like, because that thing
Yes.
was heavy. I'm grateful I didn't break it in the process. I'm grateful, that the electricity did go on. I'm grateful for the neighbors who, were texting, looking out for everyone. It's like there's so many things that I could actually truly be grateful about, and not just the obvious things. And that also I find to be really helpful. So it's again, you can use it every single day, or you can use it one day a month, or you use it how you want to use it. The
Just
point
use
of
it.
it, yeah, the point of it is it's a tool, right? It's a tool for you, and it's there to support you and help you really dial in your energy and your focus. So okay, this hour is already going way too fast. We're going to take another really quick break here. And then we'll be back and also just continue to talk a little bit about how we're using it. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, we are back and we are here with my beautiful guest, Leah Lund, co-creator of the Inspirement Life Planner. And we are just diving into how much we love what we've created. But it truly, I think we really do. I mean, it's getting me re-inspired too about some of the things that we originally talked about, and how it's morphed into this beautiful, beautiful tool. So I'm super excited. And the break, Leah, you were reminding me that one of the things that came up for me as I've used it in my membership is that different people have gravitated to different parts of the planner, really just kind of like we have as well, right? There's different things
Mhm.
that immediately stick out to you and you use a tool in a different way. And there's also certain pieces that you might resist using, not necessarily intentionally, but just kind of like, oh, you didn't really like see a need for it. And so what I have found in doing those monthly planning sessions is that with different people gravitating to different parts of it and then sharing what they're doing, it's inspiring the whole group. But it also made me realize that there are different styles. There's different ways that people plan, that they want their time, that they naturally gravitate their time. So, or gravitate to, I should say, with their time. And I actually created, I call it the Flourish Flow Archetype Quiz. So I'm going to put the link to that also in the show notes if anyone wants to take that quiz. There's 5 different planning styles that we came up with. I'm just going to go through them very briefly here. The Visionary Dreamer, that's somebody who's big picture vision, deep empathy, magnetic creativity, and intuitive leadership. There's a conscious creator who's more purpose driven focus, has grounded strategy, devotion to mastery, and strong follow through. A sacred navigator who has steady presence, deep intuition, emotional intelligence, and devotion to harmony. The flow alchemist, whose focus is on transformational energy, creative adaptability, natural healer, and deep emotional awareness. And then the radiant reflector. And that's somebody who's more of an embodied presence, intuitive reflection, radiant calm, amplifying other people's light. And I think, we each have little bits and pieces of each of these within us, but there's something that you will gravitate towards. And if you take the quiz, you'll find out like what the strengths are of each of those, what the growth edge would be as well, and maybe how the shadow pattern might show up in that particular archetype, as well as it's going to direct you to specific areas of the planner that might best support you, and how you can get the most out of it. Leah, I don't know, did you have a chance to take the quiz?
I didn't take the quiz
Okay.
yet. I read everything that you said, and I really wanted you to bring this up because it's brilliant, because we use and are aware of our types, whether it's this archetype system, or a lot of people are into human design or Enneagram
Right.
or whatever it is. We know about personalities having types.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't that apply to a planner was sort of the question I asked myself when I saw what you were up to. And I really wanted you to touch on it here because many times they'll either be they'll think they're either a planner person or they're not a planner person.
Yeah.
And really a little bit of structure with the knowledge of how you work best and with the knowledge that this is about finding rhythm can actually give you far more freedom. Because
Exactly.
far more freedom because it takes so much out of our mind.
Yeah.
We eliminate splitting our focus or attempting to split our focus because everything's accounted for. Everything is conscious and intentional. We're not
Yes.
leaving unfinished business in the past because, again, we have a place that it fits in. If we're saying yes to something that wasn't part of our plan, we realize we're saying no to something that was, so we can make those conscious time trades, like I mentioned. And so I loved that you are sharing this and that you have recommendations. My message
Yeah.
to everybody is if even if you think that you're not a planner person or a planner hasn't worked for you before, this is different.
Yeah.
Try it because this really is freedom in the sense of what matters most has its place in your life, and you can go
Exactly.
about acting on that in different ways and according with your type and in your flow of masculine and feminine, but nothing that matters most to you and your soul gets
Yes.
lost by the wayside.
Absolutely. You brilliantly landed on it there. That's exactly what the purpose of this was. And, I'll just share some, my type here is the flow alchemist. And the strengths are, as I mentioned them before, would be the transformational energy. Yeah, I'm all about transforming things, alchemizing, being creative and adaptable and flow and emotional awareness and all that. But a growth edge for the flow alchemist is being able to channel all that fluidity into focus and consistent action. Again, I think I said this at the beginning of the show is like, the feminine can be a little all over the place and the masculine can support it. And the shadow pattern of this archetype would be getting lost in the transformation cycles without grounding the change. So, this is, we want to be able to have tangible things in our lives as a result
Sure.
of all this beautiful energy. So for me, the planner focus, the feed your frequency section is really important. The mandalas, which are, creative based. We didn't even talk about those. We put in some coloring mandalas in here. And if you're stuck ever, like if you're in that place, yeah, there you go. If you're those are the purpose of those are if you're in a place where you're like really up in your head trying to figure things out, go do a coloring page in a mandala, get yourself out of the left brain and into the right brain and into the creative flow again. And you'd be surprised what can happen just because you take some time out to do some coloring.
It truly it is
Yeah.
amazing how things open up, how you let go of a grip you might have had on a way to approach something, how expansive it can be
Yeah.
to color. It blows my mind every time.
I
And then to
agree.
get creative about the color combinations and things, it's
It's
yeah,
so
it's our
funny.
creativity break.
It's so funny. Some months I'll have like a theme in my color thing, and then the other months I'm just like all over the place with it.
All over the place.
It's whatever wants to come through, right? Whatever
That's
will
right.
jolt me out of that mental mind of like, I got to figure it all out.
I jumped ahead because it felt right. I went to December's before I finished November's. I don't know. And it's going to be all shades of green and then red right in the middle for
Of course.
December.
I love it. I love it. One other thing that I want to say about this planner that I love and I'd love to hear what you put there for it, but each week we have hang on, I got to pull it here. Each week at the top, this section is one of my favorites.
Oh, yes. The
Yeah, the
weekly
weekly
guidance.
guidance message. So I'm curious, how do you use that one for yourself?
I've used it in a lot of different ways or sourced the guidance in a lot of different ways. And most recently, I am enjoying becoming student again. Well, I've been student of Way of Mastery for many, many years, since 2008, but I'm in communion with study groups. I've got 3 different groups, and we're revisiting many of the different texts that were channeled, Jeshua channeled through JM. And there's always these incredible wonder questions, or one-liners, as I call them. If you didn't know, Jesus is really funny. Sometimes it's like a humorous one. And that's usually what's there. But also sometimes it's what I've directly heard. What just last week, I asked a question of spirit, and when I waited, I didn't get an answer. I got a question, and the answer was the question. I wonder what would open their heart, because it was concerning a particular person in a situation, and mine at the same time. Like, that was the answer of what to do about a situation, was a question of what would open their heart and yours and mine. So that went on.
And then that put you back into wondering of the answer, and there was your answer.
Yes.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
That became my weekly guidance message.
Love it. Love it. I use it. Sometimes I will just ask a question in meditation, whatever wants to come through. Sometimes I'll play it with oracle cards, and I'll choose an oracle card, or ask a question and go pick up a random book off the shelf, or pick up the Bible, or, whatever I'm like, just feeling the urge to pick up. And then for me, the process is trusting that whatever it is my answer. It's up to me to interpret that answer, but just trusting. So if I'm picking up, a book, it could be the name of the book. It could be the page that I open up to. It could be the word. It could be a picture that the answer is in, but I get to be curious about it, and then allow that to really come through and be the guidance for my next step, whatever that is. And I have found the more that I do this practice every week, the more that the answers just kind of flow through you, because they are all there. It's like, again, for me, and I think for you, having been very masculine driven so much in the past, and being problem solvers and in our heads so much, getting out of that has been invaluable. That headspace, freeing it up.
Yes.
So the guidance can really flow through. So, we're literally at the top of the hour right now. So I cannot believe how fast this hour went. And I feel like we could go on forever, talking about this. But is there anything in particular that you want to share with the audience before we leave about the planner? Is there anything else that you want to share about what's up in your life?
About the planner, the last quick thing I'll say is we teach a process for discovering your why, why something is your intention or goal in the first place. And that is life-changing.
Yeah.
To dig down to the why, because oftentimes if something isn't quite going in flow, it's because either we're not clear on our why, or maybe it was for a why that really isn't a soul energetic frequency why. And so even though that's in the beginning of our kind of brainstorming and discovery processes, it's something you can take into every single day and every single week. Why, if I'm putting this appointment in appointment area, why am I doing that? So I wanted to mention that. As far as for myself, I will just say that I think you're sharing a link on a 7-day living practice that I guide. It's a recorded process, so it doesn't actually have to be 7 days right in a row, but it is a 7-session process called Awaken, and it's really living practices, many based on the Essene practices, to create alchemy and transformation on a soul level for you. So it's not a spiritual theory course. It's an active alchemy process called Awakened.
Beautiful. Yes. And that will be down in the show notes as well, and you can read Leah's full bio down there too. and see all of the amazing things that have really gone into where she is today, making her who she is and what she brings to the world and living into her purpose. So,
And
Leah, I
stay
want to.
tuned. I have a new LLC. It's called Love's Way Collective. And
Oh, I love that.
all I know is it is responsible for organizing a retreat to bring the Channel of Way of Mastery to Santa Fe next June. We are sold out
Um,
already, but I sit in wonder of where it will take
yeah.
me and how it will grow. And the processes in the planner help me be in that space where I don't need to
Love it.
know. I
I
carve
love it.
space for it.
I love it. Leah, thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for co-creating something that has really transformed me as well. And for those of you listening, again, the planner is available in both dated and undated versions. The link will be in the show notes. If you want to take the quiz, that's also going to be down in the show notes. And I look forward to hearing from some of you too about how you're using it in your life. Remember that your life is not meant to be managed, it's meant to be inspired. When you plan from that place, you don't just organize your life, you create it. We'll see you next time on the Flourish Frequency. Thank you for tuning in to the Flourish Frequency Show with me, Beth Larsen. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and are leaving with a heart full of inspiration and a mind buzzing with the possibilities of more. Tune in every third Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio for more frequency boosting conversations. And if you want more help getting into your Flourish flow and stepping into the possibilities of more, you can find me at BethLarsenCoaching.com. That's BethLarsenCoaching.com, Larsen with an E.